Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be discussing your offer options for cold SMS outreach. This is the offers that have been proven to work the best for myself and also my team. Let's jump straight in. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we're dealing with cold SMS, what are we really dealing with? We are dealing with low-budget, skeptical prospects, and we need to provide them an irresistible offer. Otherwise, what you happen to end up with is someone that just goes, "Oh, I thought this was free. I thought there was low up front. I thought it was pay per job after I get the results." Because they just look at your offer and go, "This is shit. I need to throw something at this guy so I get it for free." Before we dive into the cold SMS offer, let's talk about why traditional retainers are fundamentally broken for the majority of owners. You're capped at a specific rate. With a retainer, you charge a flat monthly fee. Let's say like $1,500. $2,500, doesn't matter. That's your ceiling. No matter how well the campaign performs, no matter how much you value the client, how much you deliver, how much money they make from it, how much extra upsells you give them, you really cannot scale that significantly. It's possible, but it's hard if you want to scale that one client to a $10,000 a month retainer. Now, if you try and pitch them 10 grand a month retainer for a small business, they'll literally laugh you out of the room. Even if your services are perfect, the psychological barrier of that monthly retainer is massive. You cannot go from 2.5k a month to 10k a month by adding in some fancy fucking websites, some Google SEO, and a few other fancy things. And then if you increase their ad spend and say, okay, but for us it's an extra 500 a month now, they go, but why? You just spend more on ads. There's nothing changing, right? You have to reason with them to get paid more, which is not the type of business that you really want to run. Or it might be. The other reason is that there's no revenue scaling with ad spend, right? Here's the kicker. If your client increases the ad spend, like we just mentioned before, from 3K to 30K a month in this example, because the campaign's doing very, very well, you don't make an extra dollar because you're doing more work managing a bigger budget, taking on more responsibility, but your income generally does stay flat because it's quite hard to convince them to pay you more or create enough value to make them pay you more. What I would do potentially in the situation is charge them a percentage profit share instead of increasing the retainer. So retainer plus profit share. But even then, is that really that valuable? No. Now, here's the other thing. There's a bit of a value mismatch. The better you are at your job, the more you get penalized. You generate a massive ROI for a client, they scale up, and you're still collecting the same fucking $1,500 while doing the exact same amount of work, if not more. With performance-based pricing, this problem completely evaporates. Because when the client spends more, you get more appointments for them, and you scale your income proportionally. The more they spend, the more you make. The bigger the budget, the more leads, the more appointments, the more money in your pocket. This is why you'll find things like pay per lead, pay per appointment, pay after results, whatever the fuck it is, it doesn't even matter. It generally does make more than the retainer model in the long run. Your LTV of a client is much, much higher. So let's look at the cold SMS reality check for a quick second, because this is very, very important. I'm just going to stop for a coffee break. Okay, perfect. So let's jump right back in. Generally, what we're dealing with and what we're up against with the cold SMS outreach is low-budget prospects, serious business owners with real money. They do not have their mobile number plastered on Google Maps, okay? The prospects you can reach via cold SMS, they are typically smaller operators who are not necessarily on a tighter budget. They're just very, very budget conscious. They're in that mindset of, oh, we can't spend too much on the budget. They have that small business owner mindset about them. They also have extreme skepticism, and let me be very clear, that extends beyond just the sale. Once they are a client of yours, they are also incredibly skeptical, very, very low trust, and cause many, many problems on the back end. The people that pay the least generally cause the most problems, which is what you see in cold SMS. They get spammed daily, their guard is up, they don't know you, they don't trust you, they don't like you, they don't give a shit about what you have to sell them until the guarantee or the offer makes sense. They definitely do not want to get burned by another agency making empty promises. We all say the same shit. A lot of us do, at least. The other thing as well, they're very price sensitive. These aren't the prospects that drop 5 to 10k on retainers. They need to see results before committing serious money, or any money. That's the fucking scary thing. So how do we break through it, right? We need an offer that is so good, so risk-free, so aligned with their needs that saying no to it genuinely does feel stupid. So here's a primary offer that we sell. We have a primary offer and a backup offer. Primary offer is this: $1,500 for 15 appointments. Full refund for any we don't deliver. Free replacement for any low-quality appointments. And I'll tell you the reason it works, right? Performance-based pricing at $100 per appointment, prospects instantly understand the value. They are not buying a vague marketing service. They are buying tangible, measurable appointments that they can literally hold in their fucking hand. That's what you need to be selling people. You need to sell something that they can grab with their hand and take. When you're at the counter and you're buying a drink, they hand it to you. They want to see it first. They want to see that they can get their hands on it and that is the only thing they're selling. You don't sell someone a fucking bottle of water and then say, okay, cool, and we'll deliver it in like a week or so. And you're also paying for the ATM fee and then also the credit card fee. And also I've got a service fee for reaching up and grabbing it from the shelf. How does that sound? Sounds fucking dreadful to me. I just want my water. That's the point of this. You want to literally show them, here's your appointments. Here's how much it costs. They're ready for you. Also, here's the thing. That shows zero risk and a full refund guarantee. It's the biggest objection killer. If you don't deliver 15 appointments, they get their money back for the ones you missed. And this obliterates the what if you don't deliver fear. Maybe I've exaggerated that sentence. It helps with that fear. It does not obliterate it. I think it's a bit of an exaggerated word to use there. The other thing to mention here is the quality guarantee. Replacing low-quality appointments for free shows you stand behind your work, and it proves you're not just mass booking garbage leads to hit a number. The other thing as well, affordable entry point. 1,500 is accessible for small to medium businesses, but still is substantial enough even to pre-qualify serious buyers and filter out time wasters, okay? We do want them to pay for this level of investment, but there's so many of them that won't. It's actually crazy. That's just cold SMS for you. Some of the leads are like that, right? Let's refer back to the Hormozy value equation, which has been mentioned multiple times, but is an incredibly important thing. The offer is engineered by Alex Hormozy's value equation. It goes like this. Value is equal to dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay times by the effort and sacrifice. So let's see how this even links in. 15 appointments, 15 sales opportunities, clear, tangible outcome. Perceived likelihood, full guarantee of, well, they're basically fully protected. Time delay, it's quick. We generally say within like a week, they can get their first 5. Effort and sacrifice, we do all the work. They just show up to the appointments. They do jack shit. So our equation is very, very good. Believe it or not, that still doesn't work. Isn't that funny? You know, you can have the best offer in the fucking world, the best guarantee in the world, a relatively low price point like 1,500. But again, if you're fishing in the wrong pond and you're going to cold traffic, I'm not saying that's completely wrong. I'm just saying it's a harder pond to be fishing in. You are naturally going to come across more issues, and that still might not close them. So let's talk about this. Here's the backup offer. The backup offer looks a little like this. For prospects who cannot commit to 1,500 up front or want to test the waters first, you objection handle, then you use the backup offer. $1,500 setup fee and $97 per appointment, pay after results. So we auto-charge using WOP. You can do it with Stripe, but I fucking hate Stripe. And I'll tell you the reason this works, right? Low barrier to entry. 500 up front is much easier to swallow than 1,500 because it gets fence sitters off the fence. It's like, okay, cool. It's $500 I'm going in with. Yeah, I pay per appointment as they come in, and I can stop at any time. I genuinely would get an appointment commitment from them, more like 5 appointments you have to commit to. Otherwise, they come in like a fucking tart, and they don't commit to a thing. The other thing is the automatic payment. You put their card on file. It means there's no awkward invoicing or chasing payments. It is frictionless for both parties. And by the way, on that point, let me stop here because I need someone to understand this. This is going to help a few people, I'm sure. With a lot of the payment models, if you have to ask your client to rebill, you're going to not get very far at all. If you're having to send an email asking for more money or a text asking for them to rebill, it's not going to work out. You need an auto rebilling system that notifies them of the rebill and then tells them they have to cancel. Otherwise, they're going to get rebilled. Have I got a fucking halo going on with the sun? Cool. So yeah, that's a quick little gem I wanted to throw in there. You can use auto-charging code with Go High Level and WOP if you are wondering. Ask me if you have questions. Quick close. This is your close today offer where if a prospect's actually interested and they're not just fucking pulling you on, you can tell them, listen, I am willing to offer this to you now today, but I wouldn't be willing to wait because this is not a lot of money and it's not going to help me grow my business, but it is going to get you into the door and show you what we can do. So this is what I'm saying. Position it as like a limited trial or a limited time offer. So you close them on that same call. Now, let's talk about how you actually position these offers. Lead with a primary offer, okay? And then use the backup as a close. If you cannot possibly get them in and you've tried to objection handle 3 times over, you've looped, you've circled, bring this offer to the table. And here's kind of the final thoughts I wanted to go over before we kind of end this video here. Cold SMS is a volume game with skeptical, budget-conscious prospects. You cannot win by trying to charge premium prices up front or making vague promises. Can you make money from that? Of course you can. Can you make a lot of money fast? No. These offers work because they remove all risk from the prospect. They provide clear, measurable value they can put their fucking hands on, and a price for the market you are reaching. They also show that you have skin in the game, which does not necessarily build trust, but builds a risk reversal. So here's my recommendation to you, and there are a couple words I'm going to say here that need to be internalized. Test these offers, track your results, and watch your close rate. So otherwise, you're just going to make these changes. You have no idea if it really is producing any different results, and then you've learned nothing. Data is the most important thing you need to track. See you soon.